This is Rob Carbone, and you're listening to BD4.
He loops out to left field. Going to be a tough play. Jeter on the run, makes the play. And flies into the stands. Oh, what a play by Derek Jeter. There it goes. Deep to left. Really deep. See ya. Oh, my goodness. What a shot by Aaron Judge.
Way back left field. You gotta be kidding me. Goodbye, home run. I swear to the Lord, you gotta put four fingers up. Torres comes to the
See ya. See ya. See ya. A home run by Derek Jeter. Oh, what a ball game. A game-winning walk-off home run by Derek Jeter. He is Mr. November.
This one by Mattingly. Oh, hang on to the roof. Goodbye, home run.
That is high, that is far, that is gone. A tremendous home run to the back end of the grandstand in left field. The Sanchino. Oh, that Gary is scary.
Ball game over. Yankees win. Ah! Yankees win.
You know, I actually said it at the start of this 60-game gimmicky season that I said anything can happen in 60 games. I kept saying, you know, baseball is a game of streaks. So when you have a 162-game marathon, you know, you have time to make up for losses. Or on the flip side, you have time to regress to the mean. And I said that there may be some teams that usually don't perform well. And I also said that, you know, vice versa, that there may be teams who perform well, regress a little bit in the 60-game season. But never did I think the New York Yankees, who've been hyped up so much over these past several years, that they would be one of those teams who underachieve. You know, I actually said, you know, on top of all that, I also said the Yankees would probably cruise, and I used the word cruise. So here's me calling myself out. The Yankees would cruise to a division title in 40 plus wins. Yes, I said that. And here they are. They finished their 60-game season with 8 less wins and 7 games behind the Tampa Bay small market Rays for the division, for the American League East title. You know, it's hard to really get frustrated anymore. You know, I get pissed off so much when I watch this team. But we're at a point now, the regular season is over. And I feel like this is just the Yankees. They are who they are. Sure, anything can happen in the postseason. I'm not the biggest I'm not the biggest believer, rather, in crapshoot. I don't always believe in that. I don't always agree when people say it's a crapshoot, because usually the best team does win, or the team who performed well over the second, you know, the majority of the season or the entire second half will win the World Series. And that was the Nationals last season. And it was the best team in the league for, you know, several seasons in a row before 2019. So I think for the most part, sure, you're going to have your exceptions here and there, but for the most part, the best team, or, you know, one of the elite teams, will take home that title. And the Yankees weren't one of the elite teams this season. Again, second place in a division that was pretty mediocre outside of those 2 teams of the 5. And again, just a few games over 500. You know, so it was a slightly above average season statistically. For a team that on paper, and this is the problem with looking on paper, that looks like they have a shot again to win 40 plus games. So we're heading into the postseason on a down note, continuing to be inconsistent, consistently inconsistent as we've been all year. You know, a very streaky season. Start out 16-6, go through that 5-15 stretch. Then we win 10 in a row, and now we exit the season I don't know the math, like losing 6 of our last 8, something like that. All right, so yes, lots to talk about tonight. Oh man, we're gonna review the season, a little bit. We are going to um do a little bit of a report card. We'll do a report card, which we usually do after the year, and then we'll look ahead to Tuesday. Being a baseball fan, being a diehard Yankees fan, no matter the circumstances, there's always excitement when postseason baseball comes around. So I may have my opinion, and it may be different than most Yankees fans. But don't get me wrong. I'm still going into Tuesday, hoping for the absolute best and hoping that the Yankees are great enough to flip that switch and find a rhythm all of a sudden, out of nowhere, magically. I'm hoping for it. I just don't know if it's going to happen. But again, we're going to get to that. We're going to discuss the postseason. We're going to discuss this past regular season and all of that. So, yeah. What's going on, guys? Rob Carbone, your host, Rob Carbone, coming at you with another episode of BD4, episode 160 of the podcast. Can you believe that? My shitty little podcast has been going for 160 shows now. There we go. Hey, it's almost a full regular season. 100 games more than this season. All right, so let's head to break, guys, and I guess when we get back, we'll start this thing up. All right, be right back. Hey guys, really quick, I just want to remind you that if you go to my website at nysportstalkrc.wordpress.com, you can find me on social media. You can find the links to my podcast and my blog. So that's all you got to do. Just go to my website, go to nysportstalkrc.wordpress.com, and there will be a page that displays all of my information. All right, guys, thank you. Let's get back to the show. Before we actually get to that, let me just check for a second. Okay, let me check. I want to see what time this Celtics game is on. Oh, 7:30. Okay. NBA playoffs have at least been fun. I don't have the Knicks to watch, obviously, but it's been fun. Did you guys see the fucking Lakers the other night? Before they won last night, it was 2 games ago, actually, where LeBron James, in the Lakers, apparently after one of the games where they lost, after the one game where they lost to Denver, of course it was after a loss, they went to the refs and I guess they had a legitimate discussion with referees. I don't know when it took place, but about LeBron James not getting enough whistles. Oh my gosh. I thought that was amazing. I mean, it perfectly describes the prima donna that LeBron is. It perfectly it contradicts everything. Because he's somebody who, has, this guy's been getting away with so much over the course of his career that a couple of calls go by, or he doesn't get his superstar call, quote unquote. Now he's going to complain. I thought that was fucking hilarious. But the Lakers did win 2 in a row after that little, diva moment. And they are heading to the finals again. They are heading to the finals, and my nose is bleeding in the middle of this podcast. All right, my apologies. I had to take a couple of minutes there. Fucking nose was bleeding. The weather is changing. It is the fall. But yeah, it looks like we're getting Lakers and Heat. If the Miami Heat win tonight, I think it's pretty much, I think it's officially set in stone. All right, Yankees. Now we're not going to take time to recap this Miami Marlins series. There was no point. It was just boring as hell to begin with. But it was also pointless, being that, we lost all of them. Why would I even discuss it? Not pointless, probably not the best word, because I did want them to win heading into October on a high note, which we couldn't do. But, again, it was boring. There's no reason in fucking discussing it now. my mind is set fucking on the postseason. So I do have some concerns, man, heading into this 2020 playoffs where it's going to be a different format. Embarrassingly enough, I'm pretty sure. I'm not looking on the website right now or anything, but I should probably check. But still, I think had this not been a COVID season and if there was a normal postseason format and not this NBA type of format where we're doing 8 seeds, the Yankees would have missed the playoffs if they didn't do this 16 team bullshit. I'm pretty sure the Yankees would have missed the postseason, which, fuck. That kind of now, obviously with the new rule, it masks how poor the Yankees were this season. They're making the playoffs, so everybody's going to be talking about how great they are, every Yankees fan around. I seem to be one of very few, and I'm not trying to toot my own horn here, but fuck, are there any people left who tell the truth about this team? Shit. At least people in my generation. I feel like my fucking age group is so soft on this team. They coddle them just like their manager does to the team. They just love their Yankees to a point where they will never say anything bad. Holy shit. All right, well, yeah, I mean, I've got my concerns. We all know I've got my concerns on this Yankees team. Where do we start? I'm trying to fucking think. First of all, I've never seen such a poor fundamental team, like such a team with fucking poor fundamentals. And it gets worse every year, it seems, with this Yankees squad. It's fucking really bad. They are so lost when it comes to fundamentals, and all over. Defensively, hitting, stealing, bunting, base run. It's really bad. Defensively, they had the 30th. They had the worst win percentage in baseball. Fielding percentage in baseball. 30th. They had the worst fielding percentage in baseball. Okay, and you look at the analytics, not great either. They were minus 3.4 defensively with their WAR. That was 17th in the entire league. And they were 18th with a minus 3 DRS, defensive runs saved. So you can find and nitpick all the stats you want. The chances are you're not going to find many, or if at all, if any, defensive metrics that go their way. They were really bad, really sloppy defensively, just botching easy plays, lack of focus. Torres made a terrible transition to shortstop, did not pan out well, really struggled transitioning from second base, where he was not that good to begin with at second, but he goes to shortstop, and he made second baseman Gleyber Torres look like a gold glover with how piss poor he played at shortstop. Gary Sanchez, obviously a terrible defensive catcher, offensively too. Just trying out his new stance this year behind the plate. That didn't work. It seems that he had more catcher's interferences, dropping simple plays, missing simple pitches, getting crossed up. Obviously, the pass balls were once again an issue, as they've always been. And really, the only thing you can say about him defensively is that he's got a strong arm. But he's piss poor. I just spit overall as a catcher. Torres was rough. Voigt's not that good at first base. You can go on and on. There aren't many Yankees who are positive defensively. Not this year. The rundown the other night was just the icing on the cake. I mean, shit. Torres actually did the right thing, chasing the runner. I forget who it was, Monte Harrison of the Marlins, chasing him in to Higashioka at home. But Higgy gets the ball, and he chases the guy fucking 3/4 down the line, waits forever to throw it. Then he throws it, and he pegs the motherfucker in the fucking back. He pegs him in the back. And that run ends up scoring eventually on a sac fly, I think, the next at bat. Chad Green lobbed his fastball in there, and somebody hit it to right field for the sack to Aaron Judge. It fucking ended up being the ball game because Higgy, and speaking of poor fundamentals, this team can't even fucking bunt. Higashioka didn't even know fucking how. It looked like Higashioka in the following inning had never attempted to bunt before. He lays it down, and he fucking stabs at this thing and he pops it straight up in the goddamn air. Straight up in the air. The very first contact he made, straight up in the fucking air. It really is embarrassing. I mean, some of these guys don't, it doesn't even look like, you watch some of them try to lay down a bunt. You watch, it doesn't even look like they've ever practiced it, not even in practice as a Yankee, but in their fucking professional careers. And you know what? It's not that surprising. It's not that surprising to me, you know, that we're not good at bunting, that we rarely steal with the speed we have. None of that's surprising. Because again, as we know, the Yankees are very heavily influenced by analytics. And the analytics say, I don't want to get too into this, but the analytics say stealing bases or taking that risk is not worth it because you could get out when the guy at the plate could just swing you in with a long ball. And they also say, you know, bunting is giving away an out. Why would you do that? That's what the metrics say. Obviously, it's not something I agree with, but that's what the Yankees do. That's how they play their game. And if they want to be a piss poor fundamental team, you know, if they want to be astronomically horrendous fundamentally, fucking, so be it. Go for it. But yeah, their fundamentals defensively on the base paths at the plate, it's really ugly. It's really bad. And I think that's going to haunt them in the postseason unless they clean that shit up somehow. But it's not looking good. I mean, they've got a lot of guys in a lot of areas who really need to clean it up fundamentally. Yeah, at the plate, man. Again, hitting as opposed to slugging. We need to learn to do that. Get that base hit the other way, right? I talk about this too much, so I don't want to kill your time on it, but fucking 248 batting average this year as a team. Sadly, you know, in an era of baseball where strikeouts and home runs weren't so popular, the 248 would probably be, you know, in the bottom tier. Sadly, hitting 248 gets you 14th place in 2020. Nonetheless, again, a terrible, terrible batting average for a team that has a lineup that's so hyped up. That's going to haunt them, not being able to hit the ball at a high clip. You look at guys like Gary Sanchez, Aaron Judge, Giancarlo Stanton. Okay, Gary, 36% K rate, 36% strikeout rate. Aaron Judge and Giancarlo Stanton, each of them, when they were on the field, just below 30%. That's really bad. That means you're only ending at bats with contact 70% of the time. Seems like a lot, but it's not. I'm not saying getting on base, getting on hit 70%. I'm saying you're ending with contact. So you're striking out 30% of your plate appearances. Those three guys, at least 30%. And then you add in, you know, Clint Frazier strikes out a lot. Love him, had a productive season. Think he's a guy that could shine in the big moment, actually. But it is a concern. He was 28%. Voit, 23%. More manageable, but still pretty high. So you got a lot of guys in that lineup who swing and miss. A lot of sluggers. Where are the guys like LeMahieu and Urshela? That's about it with them. You're not going to get those 300 hitters that strike out in less than 20% of their at-bats. You don't get that a lot with this Yankees team. That's also why they were just 258 in scoring position. Again, that's actually, sadly enough, that's 12th. But again, it's not elite. You know, for as much as this hyped up offense is talked about, you need to see some elitism when it comes to situational hitting and settling for the base hit and coming through consistently. But I mean, this isn't surprising to me. Look at that lineup. Michael fucking K, what was he talking about on Yes tonight on the broadcast? This team is built correctly, he said. He said teams who hit home runs win. That was the most simple shit I've ever heard. Teams who hit home runs and hit for contact win. The Washington Nationals, the Houston Astros, the Boston Red Sox, every single World Series winning Yankees team. Look at the numbers. Look at their postseason numbers, their regular season numbers. Look at their roster. Just watch those tapes again, even if you have to. They all had power and contact. You need to have that balance. Teams that hit home runs and just hit home runs, end up getting eliminated every October like the Yankees have for the past 10 fucking years. Michael K. This offense isn't good enough to do it. Way too many strikeouts. Way too many times are we coming up empty with runners. We were 0-15 with runners on base today to end the season in our big 0-run outing against the Miami Marlins. They're not going to win against even better pitching. You think you're going to fucking slug your way to a championship facing guys like Bieber, facing Carrasco, facing fucking Plesac? Because that's who we've got up next. It's going to get tougher. Who's also saying stringing together hits is tougher than just hitting a home run. No shit. Everything's tough in the postseason. But the team that does it wins because they were able to get through it. No matter how tough it is. They were able to do it. Everything's going to be difficult, more difficult in the postseason. You're not going to score 8 runs. Of course, you're not going to string together hits, but you're also not going to just pile up homers. But you have to do both to a certain extent, to where it's enough to get by against elite pitching. The numbers don't lie. Teams that have won the World Series are consistently up there, hitting the ball at a high clip, reaching base, by settling for those hits, and not just the long ball. Yeah, you have to hit a lot of home runs, but you also have to make a lot of contact. You need both, and the numbers say it. Or if you just watch, you don't even need to look at the fucking numbers. Just have a competent baseball mind and watch, and you'll realize how important it is. Also not sold on this rotation. No. Love Tanaka. Love Garrett Cole. Don't love anybody else. Davy Garcia was good. He was fun to watch. I think he's potentially got something there. He's a 21-year-old kid. He's a prospect. What do I always say? Prospects are unpredictable. J Happ was outstanding to conclude the season. Really, in his last 7 starts, he was very strong. He's also 38 years old, coming off a season that was never really coming off a down season. And it was never really that great to begin with. You have to think there's some regression to the mean. You don't know how he's going to do. I'm just thinking if he's going to have a great start. And we're not getting to him yet until game 3, if we get that far. But I'm just saying the whole picture there. Not loving that. Who else am I missing? Tanaka, Cole, Happ, Davey, and Montgomery. Probably the worst of the 5 Yankee pitchers this season. And he wasn't bad, but he wasn't good. He was just A lot of soft contact, so some bad luck in there. But yeah, I don't know, man. I'm just not. I don't trust him in a big postseason game either. And the Yankees were even talking about. There's been some talk of him going to the bullpen or in an unsure role right now in October. So yeah, you look at Tanaka and you look at Cole. You're very confident in those two for games 1 and 2. But game 3, if that happens, I don't know if I can really say I'm 100% optimistic here. Fortunately, the Cleveland Indians offense isn't that good, but we're going to get into the numbers a bit in a second. Shit. In the bullpen. I actually like the job Zach Britton did. He's been good for the Yankees. Everybody else, not really sold on, honestly. Chapman was up and down. Sure, he found a rhythm towards the end there. So maybe I'll throw him a bone. But Chad Green, don't trust him. One trick Chad. That fastball, lobbing it in there in the postseason. I don't know. Adam Ottavino. Every opportunity this guy has to blow a lead or to give up a run, an inherited runner, he'll succeed at that. He'll fucking put the team right back, put the other team, the opposing team right back in the game. You put him in there, he'll guarantee a choke job with that one pitch, with that one slider. I don't trust many guys in this pen. I'm sorry. And I'm pretty sure their ERA, the bullpen, was in the bottom third. I'd have to double check, but I'm pretty sure it was in the 20s. I mean, this team's just a little overrated to me, man. I'm sorry. You guys hype them up so much. So much. But we're in 2020. Okay, now if we don't get it done this year, I'm not ever sure we're going to. But seriously, this whole process began back in 2017, where we went to Game 7 of the CS, and we haven't gotten as far since. 2018, we didn't get that far. 2019, we didn't get that far. I mean, it says a lot, doesn't it? It says a lot. You know, the narrative that we always have this narrative over the last couple of years, and Michael Kay always said it. I don't mean to beat on Kay here, but he always said, I always fucking heard him say this, that the Yankees, they'll only get better. Many fans said this too. This team is only going to get better. If they did this year, just wait till I see what they do next year when they're fully healthy, right? Here we are. Where's that narrative got them? A very entitled mindset. Very entitled. Kind of like the Yankees. A team who thinks they're a lot better than they are. Team who just expects to get by on straight up talent. Sure, we'll lay back and rest on our laurels. Make a fucking 4-error game 2 times out of the last 3 nights. But it's okay. We're going to win it all anyways. Just seems to be their mindset. And that starts with your manager. A too laid back manager. Very buddy. Coddles his players a little too much, Aaron Boone. Give me a manager who's not afraid to kick your ass. As opposed to kissing ass. And I've said this before. Fuck it. John Boy said it perfectly, though. He said it perfectly. We always struggle against good pitchers that we haven't seen before. They always give us problems. And that's what we're going to see in this postseason, right? We're going to be playing teams outside of our region who have good pitching. Okay. So you don't expect to just get hot and flip a switch like that. I'm not expecting that. I don't know. My phone keeps fucking blowing up. People texting me left and right. About the fucking Yankees. It's like everybody knows I'm the Yankee guy in the family. My group of friends, all the people I know, they're always sure to text me. Postseason start Tuesday. Like, yeah, thanks. Not that excited right now. It's hard. Some excitement, again, because it's the postseason. It's the postseason, but they said the other day the Yankees are going to be carrying 3 catchers in this wild card series. What does that tell you, man? What does that tell you? That says a lot of what they think of Gary now, doesn't it? It really does. It says a lot. 3 catchers for a wild card series. The tune used to be, he's our guy. He's going to get better. We believe in his talents. But now it seems to be day to day. We'll see who performs well this day. And if Gary doesn't do well, we'll plug in Higgy. It seems to be that, a change in tone. Or is it tone and tune? I don't know. But fucking it's interesting when you hear them talk about Gary now as opposed to years previous. Ah, man. But yeah, like I said, my number one concern is this lineup. The porcelain pussies, and Judge and Stanton. And add Sanchez in there with them. And all the other guys who strike out. I don't want that to stop the lineup's rhythm and kind of cause stagnant lineups fucking on an inning to inning basis in the postseason. That's going to be an issue with all these Ks. And it is every year, and I say it every year. But it seems to me that people always forget or people just don't want to remember. I don't know. But the strikeouts are an issue. You could take your fucking sabermetrics and your home runs and your launch angle, fucking throw it out the window in the postseason. Because it always comes down to being able to have a balance of not just hitting a home run, but also coming through with fucking contact. The base hit the other way. Why do you think fucking DJ LeMahieu translates from the regular season to the postseason seamlessly? Urshela, same thing. Because they know how to hit. Not slug. They know how to hit. The slugging comes natural with them. The hitting, that's their fucking forte. They hit. They're baseball players. They play defense. They hit. They're not one-dimensional boom or bust sluggers. Give me more DJ LeMahieu's. Give me more Urshelas. But yeah, man, it's coming Tuesday. It is coming. It's coming. Can Aaron Judge start walking the talk? Tired of seeing, a lot of what I'm saying tonight was on the note card for episode 159, but just in case nobody listened, which I'm sure nobody did or is right now, I'm just tired of seeing these quotes, these motivational statements from our Yankees. Judge is, obviously the supposed leader, the face of this team, but, he said the other night, he's tired of seeing teams celebrate on Yankee Stadium turf. Paraphrasing, but fucking then do something for a fucking change. Then stop handing out playoff berths left and right. Because you just did 2 nights in a row. You gave it to the fucking Blue Jays, and then the night after that, you gave it to the fucking Marlins. 2 mediocre ass teams, who I'm pretty sure lost 200 plus combined games last season. Fucking gave them playoff berths this year. 2 for 2. Fucking embarrassing. Then stop. Because the only people who could fucking stop that is you, Aaron Judge, and your team. And if this team is really as great and they have this fucking mindset like they say they do, they're as great as they are, then fucking show it for once. Go out there, win a goddamn World Series. And if Judge wants to be the big, bad, tough leader, be the fucking MVP of the World Series. I mean, for fuck's sake, man. I'm tired of the bullshit talk. Walk the goddamn talk for fucking once. All right, so taking another break real quick. Cooling off. When we get back, I have a report card. Kind of a truncated version of a report card. Not every single player on the roster, but for the most part, it's it says the story. So I'll give out my report cards, my grades, and we'll talk a little bit about the postseason, the outlook of it. Who we're playing, what it could be like, and then we'll head to break one more time after that, and we'll get to the question of the day. All right. So let's get to the plug. Be right back, guys. Hey guys, really quick, I just want to remind you that if you go to my website at nysportstalkrc.wordpress.com, you can find me on social media. You can find the links to my podcast and my blog. So that's all you got to do. Just go to my website, go to nysportstalkrc.wordpress.com, and there will be a page that displays all of my information. All right, guys, thank you. Let's get back to the show. So my cousin just texted me, who's, we usually go to the Yankee playoff games together. Time to fucking eat. Referring to the ALDS that we went to a couple years ago in Cleveland. We took a last-minute trip to Cleveland, and we went to the ALDS Game 5 when the Yankees advanced. That just has me thinking, we're going to miss Didi Gregorius facing the Indians again. Always come through with big hits against them. But yeah, I mean, it's going to be different, of course, just as a whole. Seeing a postseason for number one, not even in Yankee Stadium anymore, and secondly, with no crowd, takes away a lot of the excitement. Not going to lie. It takes away a ton of the excitement. That's what postseason baseball is all about, especially in the Bronx. It's about, It's about the crowd. It's about Yankee Stadium. But we're not getting that. So we're going to have to make our own noises from home. And usually, again, I'll take, my siblings and my cousins. We'll all go together, and a couple friends, and we'll always go to these playoff games. I've been to the majority of the playoff games of the past 3 years. We've all been to a good chunk of the playoff games. We always sit in the bleachers because that's where the party is in the Bronx. Everybody knows that. The real fans sit in the bleachers, and it's just one giant group of asshole New Yorkers drunk out of their minds having a great damn time. It's fucking awesome. I love it. And I'm going to miss that. I'm really going to miss that. For as much shit as I give this Yankees team, I am going to miss going into the bleachers in the Bronx and being in the middle of a giant clusterfuck of drunk New Yorkers. Oh, that's the best. It is. It is the best. All right. Let's get to this report card, guys. It's not pretty, but the season wasn't that pretty, so makes sense. I actually didn't write the Yankees excuse me, as a unit. I didn't grade them as a unit, but we'll do it right now. If I were to give them a letter grade from F to an A+, on how they performed on a unit this regular season, probably sit somewhere in the C range. Probably in the C range. And I think that's pretty fair. You go 32 and 26, or I don't even fucking 33 and 27. 33 and 27. That's 6 games above 500 for a team who had a very easy schedule and a roster decent enough to where you should have won a lot more. I know they had injuries, but don't give me that shit. 33 wins against that schedule shouldn't have happened. Losing the division by 7 games shouldn't have happened. Definitely in the C range. All right, so individually, we're gonna go from the best grade to the worst grade. All right, so we'll go A+ guys, A guys, the A- guys, etc. I had one guy, A+, and that was DJ LeMahieu. I think that speaks for itself. The guy was outstanding all season. Missed a little bit of time, but he was so impactful that didn't really matter that much for a guy like him. He just made so much contact, came through. One of the few guys on this team who knows how to come through when there were guys in scoring position. Hit over 360, I believe. Won the batting title. Just won the American League batting title. Actually had the highest batting average in the MLB. Just a great all-around leadoff hitter. And played defense as well. Okay, so played second base, played third base, played first base today. Just a great all-around player. Definitely A+ for DJ LeMahieu, who they better fucking extend in the offseason, or I'm not watching the game. I will, but he better fucking be back. Luke Voit, I gave him an A. I gave Luke Voit an A. Again, tremendous offensively. Power, on base. Not much of a defensive player, but just so good and playing hurt all season, never missing time. Guy gets an A. Gio Urshela, A-. Again, another guy over 300. Another guy who provided that contact, that power when it came. Just let it come to him and not the opposite. And he played an amazing third base. Guy just flashes the fucking leather. And he played such good third base this year that even the metrics agreed with him, which they usually don't. So that was cool. Shifting to the Bs. Let's start with the B+. You might hate me for this. Maybe it should have been an A- more. Garrett Cole. I'll go borderline B+, borderline A-. If you want to, I put a B+ down, but A-. I'll change that to A-. I thought he was very good. He was amazing, especially down the stretch. He did have that brief slump for where he lost 3 games in a row for the Yankees. So I guess that's what I took into account, dropping into a B+. But again, overall, he finished the season strong and he won 7 of his 10 decisions. So you can't ask for more. And the ERA was in the 285. It was at 285. He struck people out, but he's going to earn his money in the postseason. He better, right? It was cool in the regular season, But if he goes out there this postseason and lays an egg, it's a fucking failure to start. And if he goes out there and he is even better, looking good. Also have Clint Frazier, B+. I think he was really good for this team. Very solid. Defense improved, but the bat was very good. Good presence, a good power presence. Clint Frazier is your prototypical power guy. Again, it's not that I have a problem with him, but it's just having so many power guys in this lineup. If I were to drop one, I think you all know who it would be. Not Clint, but the other guy. In the B range, Masahiro Tanaka, J Happ, Davy Garcia. Liked what I got from all of them. Davy didn't really get many starts, got 5 or 6. But he performed really fucking well. He pitched good. I liked what I saw. Flashed his potential. J Happ, again, we talked about him earlier. For a guy of his age, coming off a down year, very good bounce back in the small sample size of games he pitched in. And Tanaka, rough final outing. Hopefully that wasn't his last outing of his regular season career as a Yankee. But overall, this season, so far, he's pitched really fucking good. He pitched really fucking solid. All right, now we get to the C range. Nobody had a B-. Let's get to the C. The C range, so anywhere from a C- to a C+. I have Torres, I have Gardner, I have Hicks, Judge, Stanton, because they missed a lot of time, and I take that into account. And then Montgomery. I have those guys on the C range. And then the bullpen, I also have the entire bullpen. I just gave a C in that range. In the D and F range, Gary Sanchez and the bench. The bench was terrible this year. There was no next man up. Not this season. And then Gary was just fucking pathetic. They said on the broadcast today, worst batting average of all time for a certain number of at-bats. It's fucking really bad. And he sucks defensively, so there you go. Only thing he did was hit some home runs here and there, but fuck him. Guy sucked. So that's your report card. All right. And listen, what do you expect? It's not going to be the most optimistic report card for a team who's limping into the postseason and barely made it to begin with. Fucking New York Yankees, man. Going forward, we have the Cleveland Indians. We find out now. And the Cleveland Indians, let's see if I can find it here. See if we can get to it. Yeah. They are 35-25. Third place. So it looks like we're playing them. 58 win percentage to our 50-5. Jesus. But yeah, they had a good pitching season. That was their forte was pitching. Offensively, they were 23rd in batting average, 27th in OPS, and 27th in home runs. So they didn't really do much offensively. But it was that pitching fucking staff, man. First place in starting pitchers ERA, and 5th place in the entire MLB in bullpen ERA. Again, Plesac, Bieber, Carrasco, and just an amazing bullpen. And I'm pretty sure they've got 2 solid guys in the back end of their staff too. But for the first 2 games, which is the 2 most important games right now that we have to look at, it's going to be Tuesday. We're only looking at fucking Tuesday right now. Don't even jump ahead a bit. Tuesday, it's going to be fucking Bieber, and he's probably going to win the Cy Young. He strikes out a ton of batters, and he doesn't allow many guys to reach base, let alone score. So that could get really ugly if the Yankees perform the way they do when they have their off nights. It really could. Oh, and one more tidbit on the Cleveland Indians offense. The Indians struck out the 7th most in the MLB, but that doesn't really fucking matter, okay? Because they're based on their pitching staff. But the fucking Yankees, we just, at this point, we just have to cross our fingers and hope that we get the good Yankees, right? It's 50-50 at best. So can we get everybody clicking on all cylinders all of a sudden out of nowhere? Maybe we fucking do. All right. I don't know, man. I don't know. Sunday night. Let's check on my DraftKings account. I got a couple of fucking I bet on a lot of little ones tonight. A lot of the odds boosts came up where I fucking just, a couple bucks each and to hope that it adds up. So I got to check on that before we head out on some of these NFL games. I also had a parlay earlier, but didn't matter because the Yankees lost. Fuck. All right, so I won my Deshaun Watson, Big Ben combining for 4 touchdowns. I won that, but I've still got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 parlay, 5 single bets open. I've got Metcalf and Cooper to each score a touchdown. I've got the Seahawks and the Bucks to win. I've got Evans, Hopkins, and Metcalf to each score a touchdown. I've got Mahomes and Jackson to each record 3+ TDs, which I'm pretty sure isn't going to happen. And then for the NBA game tonight, I've got Hero and Butler to make over 3.5 combined threes. So that's possible. So, hopefully I can win more than I lose and I get more money than I had entering today. But fucking that's it, guys. Let's head to break. When we get back, we'll do the NYY and NYK. All right. Hey guys, really quick, I just want to remind you that if you go to my website at nysportstalkrc.wordpress.com, you can find me on social media. You can find the links to my podcast and my blog. So that's all you got to do. Just go to my website, go to nysportstalkrc.wordpress.com, and there will be a page that displays all of my information. All right, guys, thank you. Let's get back to the show. All right. My nose keeps fucking bleeding, It was bleeding again during that break we just took. I don't know what it is. I don't know. Let's get to the NYY NYK. All right. Might as well just wrap it up right here. All right, so let's get to the NYY NYK question of the day for episode 160. All right, so the last time out, I asked you guys who was the opponent the Yankees faced in their first World Series appearance. So the answer to that question is the New York Giants, the baseball team. That was their first opponent, and they actually won that series, the Yankees. All right, so tonight's NYY NYK question of the day. A little fun, opinionated one, I guess. Will the Yankees win the World Series this year? You could say it's opinionated, but let's be honest here. The way they're looking, the answer is pretty obvious. But no, let's. I'm just fucking around. But hey, that's our question of the day for tonight. So, all right, guys. That's going to do it. We are almost 50 minutes into this episode, so I do appreciate everybody stopping by. And once again, if you haven't yet, be sure to subscribe to the podcast on the many different platforms that we are on. Just go to my website, nysportstalkrc.wordpress.com/connect, and there you go. So, guys, thank you so much for stopping by. I'm your host, Rob Carbone, and I'm signing out. This is it. Episode 160 of BD4. No better way to get your Yankees and Knicks analysis. And I'll see you next time. We'll see you after. So we're going to do it, series by series again. So we'll see you after this wild card series. All right, guys. Ciao. This podcast is sponsored by Anchor.